Hey everybody, welcome to Outsider Reviews. Today we've got two very special guests, insiders in their own right. We have Brandon from Car Questions Answered, who is down in North Carolina, and we have Junior in from Nissan, who is in Toronto, Canada. Hi guys.
Going on.
What's up, man? Thanks for having us here, man.
All right, it's nice to have you guys here. Now, the reason why we have you guys here is because there's been a lot of questions on about differences between Canada and the US as far as what's going on in the auto market right now and how are the two markets different. And I figured you guys are the two best people to answer some of these questions. Also, you're very polarizing people. I love talking to you guys. So then we're gonna start getting into it if that's okay with you guys.
Perfect. Let's do
Sounds
it.
good.
All right. So the first big question that everybody's asking, and I know Brandon's published some on this topic, and so has everybody else in the industry, is there a car market crash going on right now? Start with you, Brandon.
I say this a lot in my videos. I don't think there's any car crash that's actually happening right now. What I have been saying, as far as a lot of the content that I put out, is that there's no crash. There's no crash coming. What I do see though is a just continuous trend down, that's going to happen slowly over the next 6 to 12 months. Typically, at least in the United States, what we get is a bump during tax seasons when people get tax refund checks back. And we saw kind of a blip of this back in the end of January, beginning of February, throughout the beginning of March. And now we're starting to get that trend downwards again. I think that trend that we see going downwards is going to continue. I'm seeing a lot of no sales pop up at auctions right now, which is just a precursor to prices going down because a lot of these dealers, they're holding on to these trade-ins that they got in and they don't want to cut loose of them yet, but there are less bidders. There are fewer bidders in the system right now, and they want to pay less money for the cars that are actually rolling through these auctions. And there's really just a divergence between what dealers like me, used car dealers, want to pay versus what franchise dealers, new car dealers, want to actually get for their trade-ins when they send them through auction. And at some point, these new car dealers, they're going to realize that, you know what, we're not getting any more money for these cars. And that's when you're going to start seeing a breaking point, when these franchise dealers start cutting bait with a lot of these cars at the auctions. And that's when used car dealers like me can get these cars for a cheaper amount. And then that's when you're going to start seeing on the retail side that prices are going to come down, at least on used car side. New car side, Junior can probably speak a little bit more toward this than I can, but what we're seeing right now is a lot of incentives come through the system. But you're not going to see a crash in new car sales either. It takes a very long time for dealers to lower prices, for manufacturers to add more incentives, because they don't want to just go from adding no incentive to, okay, here's $10,000 off. They want it to be slow because they want to find that sweet spot kind of in the middle where demand and supply are going to hit the place they want it to be and be able to make maximum amount of money while still selling enough volume to be able to make the profits that they want to do. So Junior can probably speak more onto that, but that's what I'm seeing in the new car side of things.
Yeah, so I have to agree with Brandon in terms of I don't see a crash happening anytime soon. Just to say, because I can pretty much talk about our Nissans over here, but at the same time, I'm ordering cars more than ever. So Nissan is producing as many cars as they used to. Some models, not as much because obviously sometimes they don't sell as much, but the Canada versus US market is definitely different when it comes to Nissan products. But for all my other friends that I have in the industry that work for different manufacturers, there's no slowing down. So we're selling actually as many cars as before. Um, so yeah, so for me to see a crash happening, no, not likely. But like Brendan said, in terms of the trade-ins on the used car side, yeah, usually all the trade-ins that I have, if it's a good trade, I'm keeping it. I'm not bringing it
Right.
to the
Yeah.
auction. Because we can make as much money. We can make as much money as we can in terms on those trades, right? So
So that's one thing I've been kind of following too since like COVID happened, and the supply got difficult for new car dealers.
yeah,
Um, like we've seen too that a lot of like you guys have been keeping the higher quality stuff because I mean you don't have enough new cars to sell through, so you're going to be keeping more trade-ins. And do
right.
you feel like as new car stock is getting better, is that going to be a trend that continues? Or do you feel like you're going to start letting go of a little bit more of the trade-ins than you have been over the last 2 years?
Yeah, so the trade-ins usually depending on the type of trade, because sometimes if the trade has a lot more kilometers, either we wholesale it or we bring it to the auction. But now I've noticed that even at the auction, the prices are ridiculous for us to buy cars there. You know,
Yeah.
like the prices are, it doesn't even make sense for us to buy cars at the auction because I'm not making as much money there. Right. So if I can get my hands on a good trade from a trade in, that's the route I'm going to take. And then even if it has slightly a little bit over, 100,000 kilometers, and if the car is actually in good shape, I'm keeping that car. And
But like going forward, if you're
mhm,
able to get your hands on more new vehicles, do you
yes.
feel like the amount and the quality of your trade-ins that you bring in, do you feel like you'll be sending more of them back to the auction since you're able to get more inventory from the manufacturer going
Um,
forward?
it's a good question. I wouldn't say no, not really. No, because
About the same amount.
again, because like I can only speak again from my dealership. We get a lot of trades from lease returns.
Hmm.
So a lot of my used car that I have on my lot right now are all, I'm gonna say maybe like 60% is like all lease returns,
Okay.
right? So as long as the car is in good shape, there's no issues with the vehicle, I'm keeping it. But in terms of new cars, again, people still have to pre-order some of the cars. They still have to wait a few weeks, some of them even months to get the car. But Nissan is producing.
See, and that's a big difference that we're seeing right now with the new dealers, the new Nissan dealers here
Mhm.
in around where I am is they've got stock. So
Right.
they're even cutting down a lot. I use an example. I've got two Nissan dealers that are near me. They're about 10 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
One has tons of vehicles and they're charging $2,000 market adjustments on top of all of their Nissans.
Oh
And they've
wow.
got inventory. And you go 10 minutes down the road, and this other Nissan dealer, they've got some inventory, but it's way less than the one charging market adjustments, and they're all selling at MSRP or under. Talk to sales reps there, and they're getting these orders or whatever, but anything that they're getting in, they're typically selling. Now, Rogues they can't sell for whatever reason, but I'm hearing that across really the market is that Rogues are just they're not selling, and I don't know
That's
why.
funny. That's interesting because rogues are selling here.
That's
We're
that, and it might
selling.
be that in Canada you're just not able to find the smaller SUVs. So Rogue might be something that a lot of maybe Canadians are gravitating towards.
Yeah, because it's all-wheel driving, especially us with the snow that we get here in Canada. The Rogue is actually the perfect family car.
Okay.
Small, good SUV. In terms of winter, summer.
But
A little
is
climate.
Canada still charging market adjustments? Because in my particular area, because we do live pretty far from each other, I'm in the province of Quebec, you're in Ontario, so different
Different beast.
state that would translate to you guys. But I don't see any more market adjustment in my area, and I barely saw any during COVID. If yeah, I don't even think I saw any during COVID.
Well, I can only speak. Well, again, for on my end, we're
Yeah.
selling cars at MSRP, so I'm not discounting anything. I'm just selling full MSRP, and then that's it. I'm not charging over under. It's Nissan kept it at a.
So
You
it's at
said
MSRP. There's no such thing as markup in your
no,
area.
no.
And you're saying you're seeing Nissans do like half markups branded in your area and the other dealerships are not?
I'm just pulling it from two dealerships. I like to use this example because I
Mhm.
tell consumers that are watching my channel that okay, if you go to one dealership and they're charging bogus fees, they're charging over MSRP or whatever, you can drive somewhere else. You can look online and find another dealer that's not doing this. So this is why I like to use this example is because if you see a bad dealer, you see they're charging stuff that you don't want to pay for, go to another dealer. I mean, they're brand new Nissans.
Right.
You're going to find the same exact thing at another Nissan dealership that you're going to find at the one dealership that's charging these markups. You don't have to be locked into a place that's just closest to you. Travel. Go somewhere that's going to give you a good deal. I won't say MSRP is a good deal. It's not a good deal, but go somewhere that's not charging crazy amounts of money for things that you don't want, because you can find it somewhere else. You can find another dealer that's not charging.
Right. Right. No, I totally agree with you, because you know what? Before pre-COVID, I'll say this. In Toronto, I have about about 5 Nissan dealerships that are within 10 minutes of each other. Okay. So if a customer, so let's just say you wanted to come in and then for some reason you wanted to shop around, you can go to 5, literally 5 different ones within 10, 15 minutes of each other to shop for your price. And again, I've had customers like that in the past, but then there used to be dealerships pre-COVID that used to charge under cost just to get the deal, because they would get like a volume bonus.
Right.
So then that's not fair to the other dealerships, because obviously everybody wants to make money. And and again, I totally understand from a customer's point of view where you're shopping for the best deal, but sometimes shopping for the best deal is not necessarily the best deal for the aftermath. So let's just say if you have any issues with your vehicle, like, warranties and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it wasn't fair for the other dealerships. So that's why Nissan during COVID said, listen, price is the price. Nobody's reducing price for whatever reason. And that's it. So
the manufacturers actually don't have that power over their dealers here in the US.
Okay.
Which is interesting that they do have that power in Canada over them, because there are so many, I guess, lobbies or what. There's laws that actually protect new car dealers here, where the manufacturer can't come in and really mandate their pricing. So any dealer here can actually charge whatever they want. We're seeing Ford dealers that had $35,000, $40,000 dealer markups. So I'm assuming that's just not allowed to happen by the manufacturer. I know you can only speak for Nissan, but I would assume if Nissan has that power, probably every other manufacturer has that power over their dealers in Canada.
Well, yeah, because there's also I know for a fact, even with Mercedes-Benz, that they actually have a system, even that was even pre-COVID, that as soon as you walk into a Benz dealership, they register your name, phone number, where you live, and everything, and then the price that you were quoted on the specific car that you're on. So now, if you ended up going to another Benz dealership 10 minutes away, the only thing they have to do is type your name, and then it comes up and it says, okay, well, you're already quoted this for this package for this car. This is the price you're getting. That's it.
Yeah,
Right?
you see that a lot as well in our area, because like just to answer your question from a consumer's point of view, and they do have a big strong grip on their dealers here, which is kind of why we didn't see any markups in this area. But they also, me talking to them, trying to get to review some of their cars and everything, they always ring it up to either Ford Canada or Mazda Canada, or they always go up the chain to basically make any decisions from what I've seen.
Right.
And honestly, I don't know if that system's better or if our system's better. I don't know if you would rather have the power of the pricing in the hands of the dealers so they compete with each other, or if you have the manufacturer controlling the pricing, so then you kind of have a monopoly over whatever's going. I don't know the right answer to that, but it's interesting.
I think it depends on the times.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a right answer though, because you know what I mean? Like, it's something
Right.
obviously, and even personally, if I'm gonna go shop for a vehicle, I want to get the best deal. And if I can, do I have the time to go to 3 different dealerships and negotiate for like an hour each time? It's annoying. So at the same time, me, if I shop for a vehicle, I'm looking for great service, the salesperson, since we're in sales, I'm looking at different things. But obviously, if I can get a good deal, and then obviously it's a fair deal, I want you guys to make money. I want me to get a good deal at the end, and then that's it.
Well, I mean, that's basically the whole sentiment. That's the whole purpose behind this channel is to get people motivated to get the best deals there are because we find that the people don't have the uh, either the intel to make those kind of negotiations and whatnot. And we're coming out with just a short video after this that's going to just give you guys 5 things not to do. And if you do those things, that will be beneficial for you guys. Um, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. I just definitely want to thank Junior from Canada, Toronto, Canada, and to represent Nissan for coming on our show and to giving us that perspective of this episode of Canada versus USA. And obviously, Brandon, he's got car questions answered. That is a great YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link in the description for your channel, Brandon. If that's okay. And
No, I appreciate it. Yeah. I
yeah,
just noticed too my light's off. So if it was awkward, I'm sure you're gonna see something in the comments about that light not being turned on. Yeah, I forgot to. So there you go.
You definitely have a big fan club that keep you honest, so that's very good to hear. So
Yeah,
thanks a
I
lot
just
for
I'll go off on a tangent a little bit. If I do any little thing wrong, if I say something wrong, if I call a RAV4 a Highlander, if I do it doesn't matter. I'm going to hear about it. So it's been a very humbling experience being on YouTube, but I enjoy it and I like hearing the criticism so I can get better. But take it a little bit easier on me, please.
Definitely go check out his YouTube channel and check out his videos. He's got great stay to the end of his videos because he usually posts the bloopers at the end, either when he scares his wife or whatnot from from a dealer or from a salesman. So definitely check out his videos. And again, thank you both for coming on our show.
Thank
And
you for
stay
having us.
tuned, guys, for more videos.
I appreciate it, guys.
Take care, man.